Do you know, one of the most challenging things I think for my autism is having to pretend to be or act a certain way every day. And I think the reason I find it so challenging is because having worked in the National Health Service for such a long time, I've learnt to sort of have to be able to mask and be this person. And so when you do that every single day and you get up in the morning and you put your worldly face on, your mask on, your autistic acting mask on, ready to face patients and ready to face colleagues and ready to smile and mingle and make the same conversation every day for such a long period of time, I think then it becomes really difficult to switch that persona off. And you can only do this for so long. I've said it so many times in my other videos, but I think when we act for so long, for such a long time, it then becomes really hard to find ourselves, our true identities. And I know there's probably lots of other autistic people that can relate to what I'm saying. And I think that's one of the things that I struggle with so much. It's like trying to identify, where does my autistic mask, where does it end and where does my true identity begin? Does that make sense? And so sometimes I think when we hit like autistic burnout, for example, which I think is one of the things that I've been going through recently, if I'm completely honest, I've been through it before and I've had that feeling of like almost like a depersonalization. I felt it before the last time I went through burnout, where I feel like my mind and my brain are just completely disconnected. Like they're just, my body's here, my mind and my brain, my body and my brain. My body's here, it exists on planet Earth, but my mind's somewhere else. And it's like I'm watching my life play out on a movie screen. It sounds really weird, I know it does, but it's a real thing with autism. It's this disconnect, it's this depersonalization that occurs with autistic people. And often we get that during burnout. And then it can be really difficult to maintain our mask when we're feeling like that, because we've almost lost our sense of our identity. And so we can get heightened anxiety and heightened sensitivity to loud noises and bright lights, and we can be overstimulated with everything that goes on around us. And sometimes it can just be too much, and eventually everything just goes boom, and we go into a total shutdown or a total burnout, which is what I do. I've said it so many times in my videos that when this happens to me, I'll just I'll have a massive meltdown, or I'll just switch off and I will just isolate myself. And that is a reoccurring thing in my life. But I think autistic burnout is one of those things that is completely misunderstood in the autism community. There just doesn't seem to be much research about it. I know I'm not the only one that has gone through it, is going through autistic burnout. And it's just such a challenging condition, autism. And you know what? I've said it over and over again, and so have so many other autistic adults. But it's just one of those conditions that we're just, for some reason, there's so much more awareness at the moment in society about autism. Yet, for some reason, and I do not know why, I cannot fathom the reason why, there is no support, or very little support, for autistic adults. It cuts off for children. And I think it's one of those things that is going to push me to make more videos, regardless of my struggles, because you know what, I'm a human being, and every single person on planet Earth, nobody's perfect. Not one person that is watching me is a perfect human being. There is not one person that has never made a mistake in their life. You know, there's not, we're all, we all have our good things, and we all have our bad things that can affect us in life. But there's support for mental health, but there's no support for autism. And that's why I'm going to continue to make my videos, because we need to push for more autism understanding and autism support for autistic adults, so that we're not all suffering in silence. Do you get what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying, don't you?